I've had several requests for a Jackal tutorial on how to be a better pilot, so let's get into it. First and foremost, do not hop into that passenger seat right there, because if you do, you will more than likely get that white box glitch where you can't see the white boxes. You don't want that. You also can't use your class ability prior to jumping into the jet, at least, because if you do, it will glitch out the Jackal and you won't be able to see those white boxes. Makes it nearly impossible to get a kill. I mean, it makes it really hard, at least. I'm really used to the Jackal at this point, and it's hard for me to get kills. Alright, so let's get into piloting the Jackal. It's all about angles, and all about knowing where your enemy is going to be. For example, I just got that kill, because I knew they would be right there on the floating platform, more often than not. Now, we are here, we're doing some banking left and right on a few people down here on the farm. This is another example of how angles are very important. Now, he's in that building. I know I can't get him unless he either comes out or I shoot him through a window, which isn't easy, but it is possible. Now watch this. You see, he was right there in that opening, and I came in from, an okay angle, and I was able to almost down him. And I'm going to keep saying this, but angles with the Jackal are important. See, I just shot him through the window because I was at the right angle. Alright, we are turning around on a helicopter. A lot of action right here. Now, once again, it's all about just thinking like the enemy thinks, right? Like, what do? You like going on the edge of cliffs. You like going behind cover. These are things that can help you when you're piloting the Jackal, because knowing where your enemy is going to be is half the battle. Because a lot of the Jackal piloting requires you to pre-fire, or fire ahead of where you think the enemy is going to be, because those white boxes, they lag. They're not always precise, so you have to aim ahead of the enemy if you know they're moving. Now, as far as piloting the Jackal with controls, you guys probably aren't going to like this very much, but the best way to do it is just straight up practice. Get in the Jackal, crash, crash again, crash some more. That's what I did. It took 3-4 weeks before I got decent at the Jackal, then another couple weeks before I could actually understand where people were going to be and how to shoot them. Now, as far as the controls are concerned, you need to get really comfortable with that. Pick a finger that you're going to have on the gas at all times. And then you're not going to use that finger on the throttle for anything else. You need to be able to control that throttle at all times. Whatever method you use, whatever fingers you have to use in order to always keep one on that throttle, and then be able to reach your missiles, your flares, and your gun, and your brake. It's different for everybody. You're going to have to get used to it. It's going to take a while. It's going to feel weird at first, but eventually you'll get used to it. That's what happened to me. At first, I absolutely hated the controls, but I got used to them, just like you will. Alright, another great thing about the Jackal is that you can spend a lot of time in the bad zone because you're airborne and you're fast. Alright, so you can actually play around a lot more than other people can. Now, quick tip, do not land the Jackal on that ice right there, because you will stall out. It'll kick you out of the Jackal like you've gone underwater, and you will not be able to get back into the Jackal. I've found that out the hard way. As you can tell, I'm kind of mowing through the map right now. Getting kind of lucky on some of them, but the biggest thing you got to work out is how to avoid those pine trees. Make sure you know how fast you're going as you're going down on these enemies angle-wise. If you go down too steep, you're not going to be able to pull up in time, and those pine trees will one-shot you. Believe me, it's happened to me 100 times. Now, as far as Ravager launchers, this is actually a pretty neat little factoid, I guess you could say. Ravager launchers are actually a good thing. They tell you where people are. You can zero in on them and shoot a missile from halfway across the map. And the Ravager missiles are slower than the Jackal. You can outrun them. You don't have to be that afraid of them. You just have to go straight long enough to outrun them, which is, I would say, 5-6 seconds of going the opposite direction, and then you can bank left or right and you won't have to worry about getting hit. But yes, the Ravager missiles will not outrun you, so you don't have to worry about them as much as the FHJ. Now FHJs, that's kind of the bane of our existence. We have to get real low, use the trees, the terrain in order to try to outrun them. But if you time it out right, pop those flares as you're coming in to the area where you know the FHJ user is, watch where the FHJ is coming from, because then you know where he is and you can try to fight him and kill him before he gets off that second or third shot. Now, another thing is refitter. If you actually want to fly the Jackal for the entire map and try to get kills with the Jackal more than anything else, you have to have refitter. It's just a necessity, because you'll get those players who have those really good shots and they'll burn you down to 50% in 5 seconds. But being able to continuously heal your vehicle is priceless. Now, as you can see, I'm outrunning the Ravager right now. See, I waited long enough, went straight long enough. Now I'm turning around and see, I didn't get hit at all. I'm still at 100%. Now it's locking on again. The Ravager's shooting at me again. And remember, you can tell the difference between a Ravager and an FHJ by the sound. The Ravager is usually a more rapid beeping. Okay? And you can outrun it, and it tells you where they are. Now, knocking people down, that's a great thing, because when you knock one person down, you can milk it a little bit, and the teammates will usually try to go and res them. And they'll pop smoke, which makes it even easier to aim. See? That was nice. Alright, let's talk about rotating the Jackals, which is very important if you want to actually main the Jackal for an entire map. There are 4 Jackals throughout the entire map, and each one will respawn as long as their airfield is within the safe zone. So if you find yourself low on HP, flares, missiles, you can go back to your airfield or any of the other ones and rotate your Jackal out. If you go back to the airfield where you got your own Jackal, destroy your own, and it will respawn within 15 seconds. It's actually very useful. Alright, last thing, and I wasn't entirely sure that I should tell you guys this, because it's my favorite thing to do, and the more people I tell, the more people can avoid it or do it themselves. But it is upgrade terminals, supply boxes, and custom boxes. If you see a helicopter flying towards one of those things, you know where people are going to be. So you can take the Jackal, head that way, and you can pre-fire on that location and get tons of kills. I've done it countless times. So have fun with it. If you like the video, give it a like. If you like the content, give me a subscribe. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks, guys.